Alright guys, welcome to video number 2 of the Advanced 2 section, and this is basically going over momentum and just what it is, how it works, and just how I basically use the ideology of momentum and add it on to other things to help with direction, help with understanding direction, um, etc., etc., etc. And so first off is obviously the definition of momentum and what it is. So momentum is basically refers to the rate of change in a market, or basically the measure of how much volume is in a specific candle or in a specific move, etc., etc., etc. So basically momentum is basically the simplest way to put it is to say that momentum is judging how big a candle is, right? On any time frame, all it does is measure how fast something is moving, how much something is moving, and you can tell basically how much momentum is in a candle by how big the body is, right? So this is an aspect that basically revolves around time and distance, right? So basically, just the main thing that I'm going to show you with momentum is just understanding or just learning to basically judge distance and momentum to basically give you a bias to which direction price is going to go. And it's a very simple thing, but it's honestly very effective when you use it to continue trend, etc., etc. But obviously it's just a confirmation. It's not something that's going to give you, you know like, this isn't like a grail or something. So let's just get right to it. I have 3 examples. Example 1, right? So this is just a simple continuation trade, right? Structures to the upside, as we can see, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? But notice in this higher low, this is where our basic point of interest is, right? So there's inefficient pricing, as you can see, wick to wick, inefficient pricing, right? We reject the 50%, but a small confirmation that momentum is to the upside is I judged how far or how long it took price to go from the returning point to the swing high. And obviously it took 15 hours, 15 bars. And it took 17 bars to come back to that same price. So it took longer for it to sell off over how long it took to buy into that swing high. So that's telling me that momentum is obviously to the upside, right? So it's just a simple confirmation. It helps you basically differentiate whether a move is an impulse or a correction, and that's basically the main use that I have for it, right? And just by adding on this little touch here, I know momentum is to the upside, so it basically adds on to why I should be continuing trend here, whether it's, on top of the fact that structure is that way and then inefficient pricing is located right before it. And obviously the target was up here, previous swing high, and that was a 330 pip move, right? So now example number 2, right? This is USD CAD. First off, the first thing we want to notice is obviously trend. Where's momentum? So this was a swing low, and what I mean by that is like a H4 low. And basically, after we saw this completely being taken out, we knew we're looking for a correction to then continue lower since structure had broken to the downside. And so we see a sponsored candle here that basically covered previous inefficiency, which is located there, and then gave you a big reaction to the downside, right? So based off the ideology of inefficiencies, right, we have so much selling pressure here, we do need to come back and basically even out those positions. And that happened through this catalyst here, which is actually a news event back in December of 2019. And so same thing here, duration of downside move was 22 bars and the next one was 26 bars. So it's not that big of a difference, but it just helps me get into that mindset that, oh, this bias is correct based off of that confirmation, right? Obviously we have trend continuation and we have a sponsored candle there, right? So that's just adding confluence to the move. and just from there, that's 109 pips, right? And example number 3, right? This was actually a pretty big Euro USD swing that we had. This was actually back here. Right, that was actually right. Where is it? No, it wasn't there. It was right here. Just this whole area, and that was that entire swing there. So what basically we see here, right, is look at how deep this retracement is in comparison to this one, right? So that's me judging using the same concept, the same ideology, right? We're in an uptrend, but look at how quick this impulse was, and look at how corrective, right? Kind of looks like an ABC basically retracement here, and it's a deep retracement, structure held, but this retracement is looking super corrective to me. So now I should be looking for a potential trend shift, especially because we created a higher low. Right, so this is technically an intraday break of structure, but our swing structure stayed intact. Right, so I use the same ideology from how to judge momentum, and as you can see, duration of the upside move or downside move, I got these backwards. This downside move was 18 bars, and this upside move was 24 bars. So it shows me momentum is to the downside, right? So now we add that to other confirmations, right? Inefficient pricing located right here, wick to wick. And first target smashed 100 pips. Second target smashed 187 pips, and that is zero drawdown. But obviously this isn't the, like I said, it's not like some grail. It's not basically the best thing that it's not like a big game changer for people, but it's something that'll help you if you actually are struggling with understanding corrections, understanding impulses, just failure to understand where you are in a marketplace. And when you combine this and trend, it can really benefit you. And that's the whole entirety of this concept, just understanding momentum. And now that we've spoken on volume and momentum, we're going to speak on how we can basically use them together and create, more confluence. So, yeah, guys.